Konnichiwa, just landed at Haneda Airport and trying to figure out the cheapest way to get into Tokyo? With so many options, trains, buses, taxis, it can be pretty overwhelming. You might be thinking, Japan's public transportation is great, but there are just too many choices. If you are visiting from the US, your first instinct might be to open the Uber app as soon as you land. But hold on a second, this is Japan. This is Tokyo. Things work a little differently here, so let's dive into the different ways to get from Haneda to the city without breaking the bank. Before we jump into the transportation options, let's quickly go over what Haneda Airport actually is. Haneda is one of Tokyo's two main international gateways, along with Narita Airport. While Narita is located way out in Chiba Prefecture, Haneda is right here in Tokyo. That makes it a lot more convenient when it comes to getting into the city. Both airports serve international flights, but because of its location, Haneda is often the more traveler-friendly choice. Haneda has 3 terminals, Terminal 1, Terminal 2, and Terminal 3. If you are flying in from abroad, you'll most likely arrive at Terminal 3, which is the international terminal. Alright, now let's break down the different ways you can get from Haneda Airport into Tokyo. Now, let's start with the most popular and budget-friendly way to get into the city, taking the train. From Haneda Airport, you've got 2 main train options, the Tokyo Monorail and Keikyu Line. Both will get you into central Tokyo in under 30 minutes, and the fare is super cheap, somewhere between 500 and 700 yen. That's a great deal, right? Now, here's a catch. If you've got heavy suitcase, transferring trains might be a bit of hassle. And if you hit rush hour, well, you and your luggage might find yourself in what feels like a real-life survival game. Seriously, Japanese train can get packed. The Tokyo Monorail actually has some history behind it. It was originally built for the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. It stops at all the terminals in Haneda and takes you straight to Hamamatsu Station in about 15 minutes. Now, Hamamatsu isn't exactly a tourist hotspot, it's more of a business area, so you won't find much sightseeing there. But don't worry, it connects to the JR Yamanote Line and Keishin Tohoku Line, which means you can easily transfer and head to popular areas like Shinjuku, Shibuya or Akihabara. The ride itself is smooth and pretty relaxing. If you grab a window seat, you'll even catch a glimpse of Tokyo Bay along the way, which is a nice little bonus. Tickets are sold right in front of the gates, but if you have a Suica or a Pasmo card, you can just tap and go. And here's a tip, using an IC card usually saves you a few yen compared to buying a regular paper ticket. We've got another video that explains everything you need to know about Suica, so check that out if you haven't already. Now, let's talk about the Keikyu Line. Unlike the monorail, this one runs underground from the airport, and some trains go directly towards the Asakusa area, which is super convenient. One thing to keep in mind is that Keikyu Line split off in 2 different directions after leaving the airport. Most of them head toward Shinagawa Station, but some go the opposite way toward Yokohama. If you accidentally hop on the Yokohama-bound train, you've just started an unexpected trip to Yokohama, so make sure to check the signs before you board and confirm whether the trains head to Shinagawa. It's especially important at Terminal 3, because both the Shinagawa-bound and Yokohama-bound trains leave from the same platform. Easy to mix them up. Once you are on the right train, you'll get to Shinagawa in about 20 minutes, and it only costs around 510 yen, cheaper than the monorail. Shinagawa is a major transfer hub on the JR Yamanote Line and other lines too, so from there you can get pretty much anywhere in Tokyo with no problem. Also, if your flight arrives super early in the morning or really late at night, you'll want to pay attention to the train schedules. Both the Keikyu Line and Tokyo Monorail usually stop running around midnight. After that, there's nothing until early morning. And if you're interested in traveling to Japan, feel free to contact me on WhatsApp. I'm currently working on a new business, so I welcome any kind of questions. Alright, let's go back to the main topic. Next up is the limousine bus. Honestly, this might be the easiest and most stress-free way to get from Haneda into the city. Right after you step out of the arrival lobby, you just hop on the bus, stash your heavy luggage in the overhead compartment or underneath, and relax. The bus takes you straight to the major hotels or train station in Tokyo. No transfers, no stairs, no dragging your suitcase through crowded platforms. It's super convenient, especially if you are tired after a long flight. The price depends on your destination, but for most places in central Tokyo, it's usually between 1,000 and 1,400 yen per person. The ride time can vary depending on traffic and where you are getting off, but generally it takes between 30 minutes and an hour. For example, going to Shibuya takes about 15 minutes and costs around 1,300 yen. Tokyo Station, about 55 minutes and 1,200 yen. Limousine buses leave pretty frequently, about every 15 to 20 minutes, so you won't be waiting around for long. Right outside each terminal, you'll find clearly marked bus stops, with different stop numbers depending on the destinations. Just tell one of the staff where you're heading, like Tokyo Station, and they'll point you to the right stop. Super easy. You can buy tickets at the airport's bus ticket counter, and there are also vending machines available. These days, they've started supporting online reservations and QR code boarding too, but if it's your first time, it might be easier to just buy your ticket at the counter. A quick heads up, if you are thinking of taking a limousine bus late at night, there are late night buses from Haneda, but they are limited in number, and the fare usually jumps to almost double the daytime price. For example, a route that normally costs 1,200 yen could go up to over 2,000 yen. Also, some late night buses don't take you all the way to your final destination. You might have to transfer to a taxi halfway to the route, depending on the route. If you arrive late and can't catch a bus, your only real option might be a taxi, which we'll talk about next. So if you'd rather avoid that, you might want to hang out in the arrival lobby and wait for the first morning train, or just chill at one of the 24-hour cafes inside the airport. Sometimes waiting it out is a better move. So next, let's talk about taking a shared taxi. If trains should like too much hustle, and there's no convenient bus stop near your hotel, but you don't want to pay for a whole taxi by yourself, then a shared taxi might be the perfect option. This service lets you share taxi or a van with other travelers. Think of it as splitting the ride, splitting the cost. If you book in advance, someone will meet you in the arrival area, and once all the passengers are gathered, you'll head out together. The cost is usually around 3,000 yen per person. From Haneda to areas like Tokyo Station, expect to pay somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500 yen. It's a bit more expensive than the limousine bus, but the convenience is hard to beat. They drop you off right at your hotel door, just like a regular taxi, without the sky-high fare. Here's how it works. When you make a reservation, you'll enter flight details and the address of your hotel. And don't worry, if your flight is delayed, your reservation is still valid. Once you land, just head to the designated counter and say something like, "I have a reservation for the airport shuttle." The staff will guide you in English, so you'll be in good hands. After all the passengers arrive, you'll be shown to the vehicle, and off you go. This service is definitely convenient, but there's one thing to keep in mind. You really need to have some flexibility with your time. That's because you'll have to wait for the other passengers to arrive before the van can leave, and if you're unlucky, that wait could be as long as 90 minutes. Seriously, right? For example, if someone booked the same shuttle bus their flight lands after yours, you'll have to wait for them to arrive before heading out. It's not unheard of to be told in the arrivals lobby, "One more passenger is coming, please wait about an hour." So yeah, if you're in a hurry or just want to get moving fast, this might not be the best option for you. The most common way to book a shared shuttle is online in advance. You can find them by searching something like Haneda Airport Shared Shuttle on major Japanese travel sites or platforms like Klook. Just choose your arrival time and make a reservation. It's all set up ahead of time, so there's nothing to worry about on the day of your flight. Payment is usually done by credit card when you book. And one thing to note, some of these services have a minimum number of passengers required to operate. It's rare, but if you are the only person who booked that ride, there's a chance the shuttle could get cancelled. If that happens though, you'll get a full refund. Last, let's talk about taking a taxi. You probably don't need much of an explanation here. It's the most direct, door-to-door option out there. Just hop in, and you're off to your destination. At Haneda Airport, once you arrive, take the elevator down to the ground level, and you'll find the taxi stand right outside. There are attendants on site to guide you, so just line up and wait your turn. When it's your turn, they'll direct you to the next available cab. Taxis in Japan are known for being clean and well maintained, and the drivers are super polite. Oh, and here's a fun surprise if it's your first time. Don't try to open the door yourself, it'll open automatically with a quiet whoosh. That catches a lot of first-timers off guard. Taking a taxi from Haneda into central Tokyo is definitely the most expensive option on this list. Some taxis still use the regular meter, where the fare increases with distance, but these days most people go with flat rate taxis instead. Flat rate fares are based on your destination area. For example, getting to the Tokyo Station area costs around 6,900 yen. To Shibuya is about 7,800 yen, and to Asakusa it's roughly 8,400 yen. If the taxi uses the expressway, you'll be charged an extra 1,000 or so for the tolls. Also, if you're riding between 10 PM and 5 AM, a late night surcharge kicks in. Even on flat rate rides, it can add around 1,400 yen to the total fare. Standard sedan type taxis can seat up to the 4 people, but keep in mind, if you've got a lot of luggage suitcase, the trunk might not have enough room. In that case, the number of passengers might be limited to 2 or 3. If you are traveling in a group with a lot of luggage, just let the staff at the taxi stand know. They can help arrange a larger taxi or a van for you. The biggest perk of taking a taxi is how direct and hassle-free it is. You don't have to carry heavy luggage up and down stairs, and you don't have to squeeze into a packed train or worry about bothering other passengers. If you are totally wiped out from your flight and just want to get to your hotel without thinking about anything, a taxi can feel like a lifesaver. Now, speaking of convenience, yes, ride-hailing apps are available in Japan too, but unlike in the US, Uber in Japan doesn't offer typical ride shares. It mainly works as a way to book regular taxis or hire cars. One of the most commonly used taxi apps in Japan is called Go. It lets you call a nearby taxi with just a few taps on your phone. The fare is the same as regular taxis, plus a small booking fee, usually just a few hundred yen. And here's a fun little fact to wrap things up. Believe it or not, there's actually a luxury option that lets you fly from Haneda Airport to central Tokyo by helicopter. Yeah, seriously. The flight takes only about 15 minutes, but the price? We are talking hundreds of thousands of yen. Definitely not what you'd call a cheap transport option. All jokes aside, if cost isn't an issue, taxis are hands down one of the most comfortable and stress-free ways to get into the city. So, what do you think? We've gone through the main ways to get from Haneda Airport to central Tokyo, starting from the cheapest options. Trains are fast and super affordable. The limousine bus offers a good mix of comfort and price. Share shuttle gives you a balance between convenience and savings. And taxis are by far the easiest and most comfortable door-to-door option. Each one has its own perks depending on your travel style, arrival time, and how much luggage you are hauling around. If you ask me, I'd say go with the train if you're traveling light and want to get into the city quickly. But if you've got big suitcase or you are visiting Japan for the first time and feeling a bit unsure, the limousine bus is a safe and easy choice. And if you're landing late at night or traveling with friends and can split the fare, a taxi could actually be worth it. No matter which option you choose, one great thing about Haneda is how close it is to the city. You won't be stuck traveling for hours. Pretty much all of these options will get you into Tokyo in under an hour. So if you can save a bit on transportation, that just means more room in the budget for amazing food and fun sightseeing, right? If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'd love to hear you from in the comments. Tell me which option you'd choose, or share your own tips. See you in the next video.